Examination-based conduct session. The subject is learner support, school readiness, diversity, and multi-grade teaching. Subject code is Cece Srdm11 Year 1, Semester 1. Dear students, welcome to the presentation of 2021 examination. I am Ms. Matilde Kauliolelwe-Shihepo, the tutor for Cece Srdm11. This will guide you in your preparation for the examination for this subject. It is important to point out the most important preparation that you have to do is as follows. First, you should work through your study guide with care and diligence. Do all the learning activities in the guide provided, and then check the answers given at the end of each module. If you have not understood the study guide and its content, you may have difficulty with the preparation for the exam because you don't understand anything. You must understand each unit in depth. The following is important information for your examination. Number 1, the examination format. The duration is 2 hours with 100 marks. The exam script consists out of 5 questions. It is important that you answer all questions, but there will be optional questions where you need to choose, if it's like that. The study materials are the Kindle. What you should do is understanding the questions. Every part of information can be assessed in a number of different ways. Questions such as explain. When you ask to explain, you should describe something and indicate the relationship between the things. When you ask to list, you should present a list of facts in a certain order, the way they appear in your Kindle or in your study guide. When you ask to define, you should give the precise meaning of something based on the concept. When you ask to discuss, you should give a clear description by pointing at positive and negative features. When you ask to tabulate, you should arrange points in a table form. If you ask to describe, provide detailed features of an issue or stages of a process in a logical sequence. When you're asked to evaluate, the making of a judgment of points to be discussed. The examination cover page. Under student details, the following information must be filled in: the student number, your surname, the first name, the ID number, and the examination center. This is very much important, dear students, for the tutors or the markers to know whose script it is. The instructions. Read the general instructions and examination instructions carefully and ensure that you know what is expected before you start. You are not permitted to take any form of notes into the examination room. Plan your time wisely and write as quickly and neatly as you can. Make sure you watch the time to ensure that you finish on time. If time permits, read through your answers to correct the possible mistakes. Here, dear students, I mean that sometimes you will just remain on a certain point which you are not sure of. So it means that just rush to complete your work, and then after that, so if you still have time, you can go through your question paper and then you can correct the mistakes that you have made. That will help you to gain better marks. It is very much important to write your answer on the lines provided in the question paper. The quantity of lines given will also help you to determine the length of your answers. Also look at the marks allocated to each question to determine how many facts to write to obtain the correct marks. Here I mean, sometimes the question is only out of, say for instance, 3 or 2 marks, and then you write like 10 things which is not even necessary. So you read the question, and then you have to look at the marks allocated and write only that is asked. You should write neat and legible. This will help you to gain good marks, dear students. Now we are going to our Kindle in Unit 1. The Unit 1 is about the basic features of learning support. Now, under those units, this is important for you to know. Number 1, know the principles that guide quality inclusive education. Number 2, know how learning support relates to inclusive education. Holistic wellness aims and learner-centered education. Number 3, you should know when learners are entitled to learning support, when it is the time for them to have the learning support. Number 4, you should know how a teacher should provide holistic learning support in daily lesson. Number 5 is know Gardner's 8 criteria for a behavior to be considered an intelligence. So you should know Gardner's 8 criteria. Number 5, the signs of a learner being sexually abused. So you should know the signs of a learner. When you look at a learner in your classroom, those specific learners have different signs. So you will know that this child is either emotionally abused or sexually abused. So you should know that. Number 6 is know the signs and areas of difficulty in learner behavior when dominance is not established. Number 7, know the features of the left and right brain dominant learners. So here, dear students, when we are talking about a left brain dominant learner, it's not a learner that is using his or her left hand side. This works vice versa. The left brain dominant learner, it is those learners that use their right hand side. And the right brain dominant learners are those learners that is using their left hand side. So it works vice versa with your brain and the hands. Number 8, know the features and application of some useful teaching methods for multi-grade classrooms. So that is all that you should know in Unit 1. Then we go over to Study Unit 2. In Study Unit 2 is about the need for and features of particular activities of learning. Now, these are expected from you to know the warning signs of hearing impaired learners, know Gardner's 8 abilities, know the common learning disabilities among the learners. So it is very important. And know a common barrier to learning is teachers' attitude, behavior, and teaching methods. So know that. Unit 2 is still continuing. Number 5, know the main barriers to educational facilities for learners with disabilities. Dear students, whenever we are talking about the barriers, it's those things that is hindering the education facilities. So what are they? What are those things? The problems. Number 6, you should identify learners with visual impairment. So how do you identify a learner in your class with visual impairment? Number 7, identifying intellectual traits and personality traits. So that is all that you should know in Study Unit 2. Then we go over to Study Unit 3. Study Unit 3 is about the theory and activities of school readiness and pre-primary learners. For pre-primary learners. Number 1, activities to develop cross-motor skills. So this is very much important. So you should know those activities. The concept of school readiness and examples of readiness skills in the readiness areas. So know those concepts, and you should know how to develop learners' phonic awareness skills. And know to listing the activities to develop auditory discrimination. So in this Study Unit 3 is mostly about the readiness of the learners. So this is mostly about the pre-primary as well as the first 6 weeks in grade 1. So when you are handling these kids in pre-primary or the first 6 weeks in grade 1, so these are the different things that you should to point out and to know about the different learners that you are dealing with. So Study Unit 3 continues. So know the concept of linguistic awareness and how to develop learners' linguistic awareness skills. So number 6 is know the theory and practical activities to develop learners' writing skills and numbers. Number 7, know the classroom strategies to teach spacing. So you should know what strategies are you going to use when teaching spacing to these learners, because these learners, they are beginners, they don't know, and you are making them ready. So now these are all the things that you should know. Unit number 8 is know how to develop early education learners' readiness area of a pre-literacy. So this is all what you should know in Unit 3. And Unit 3, it's very important, dear students. So if time permits, study also the rest of the things that are there, because it will really help you to learn or to know a child or a learner much better. Then we go over to Unit 4. Unit 4 is the relevant theory and its application in order to address diversity in classrooms. So now the first thing what you should know is understand the topic before you come to the different subtopics. Number 1 is know how teachers should promote positive attitudes towards children with special needs. So remember that you are dealing with different learners. So now there's different learners, they have their different needs also. So you should know how to deal with children with special needs. Number 2 is you should know the steps that educators can take to support families who have experienced racism. So it's so important for you to know this. And number 3 is know how to help kids or learners to develop a healthy concept of gender. So number 4 is know the areas of inclusive classroom which address diversity. So number 5 is know how teachers should promote positive attitude towards different cultures. So you are dealing with different learners, different cultures. So you should know how to promote this positive attitude in these learners. Because certain learners or certain tribe, they will feel that no, their cultures are much important than the others. So all the cultures and all the learners are important. So know how to deal with them. Number 6 is identifying the steps to promote equality and multicultures in schools. Number 7 is know the features of positive behavior management, you as a teacher. Number 8, know the characteristics of the three type of epileptic seizures and what should not be done in each case when rendering support. You will see that you'll find that you have an epileptic child in a classroom, And this epileptic has 3 types of seizures. Now, each seizure, you should handle the seizure accordingly. So this is very, very much important, dear students, to know, so that you should not just run out of your classroom, leaving that certain learner there without any attendance. So by then, at least you know how to deal with it before you can call in the parents. Study Unit 5. Study Unit 5 is about the theoretical aspects and practical activities of multi-grade teaching. So number 1 is differentiating between monograde and multi-grade classes. Now, what is monograde? Monograde is a one class group. Say for instance, it's grade 2 or grade 1 or grade 3. So that is just one, it's mono. And multi-grade classes is you combine, it's just taught by one teacher, but it's a grade 1 and the grade 2 together, because the numbers of learners does not form a form classroom. So, and the multi-grade classes is mostly at the rural areas where the learners are few. So now the classes are combined, that's why it's called multi-grade classes. Number 2 is know how teachers' reflection contributes to meeting diverse learning needs. So know that once you are standing in front of those learners, they are always looking at you as their mentor. So now your reflections, so it's very much important. Number 3, identifying the major types of adaptations for lessons. So when you are planning, there are types of adaptation that you should follow, so you should know that. Number 4, know the concept of multi-grade teaching and the different names it is known by. So, okay, in number 1, I explained already what multi-grade is. Now here you should know the concept of multi-grade teaching and the different names it is known by. Number 5, know how to clarify on sound sorts and how to implement the sound sort strategy. So when you come to this to number 5, so it's very much important for you to understand this subtopic. Number 6, explain the steps of designing a multi-grade classrooms. So as a teacher of a multi-grade classroom, you cannot just design a class like in a mono one. So there are steps how to design that class for the class to be effective. So know those steps. Number 7 is elaborate on the challenges of multi-grade classes. So everything has a challenge. There is advantages and disadvantages of it. So now you should know the challenges of a multi-grade class. You should know the World Health Organization's definition of impairment. disability and a handicap, and how these barriers create a need for learning support. Number 9 is know how to overcome the disadvantages, the challenges of multi-grade classes. So as I mentioned that, I said earlier that, okay, in everything there is advantages and disadvantages. So it's very much important for you to understand the topic, because if you understand the topic, then it's easier for you to know the advantages and then the disadvantages of something. Now here you should know the disadvantages of a multi-grade class. So this is all what you should know in Unit 5. Our study unit only consists of 5 units. So that is all what you should know out of the whole study unit of your Kindles. So now coming to the conclusion, you now ought to know what is expected from you. So after listening to this presentation, making your notes, at least now you have a clear on what is expected from you. You should make sure that you know what the venue your exam will be in and what time it starts. So consult the IOL officers for those details, the venue, the time, and not the subject tutor. Dear students, here I will not know your venue or the time. So, but consult the IOL office, go to any IOL office and consult about the time and the venue. So that will help you much, because I'm just a part-time worker at IOL. Should you need help from me, you are welcome to phone me on 081-273-9802 or mail me at matilda@gmail.com so that I can help you in a well-constructed way. Sometimes you might send an email and then you'll see that I did not reply to your email. So do not hesitate to send me an SMS or is an SMS. So I will really come back to you and assist you. So now, dear student, you should contact me between 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. So say for instance, maybe you have something that maybe you are studying and then 4 o'clock is so far. So do not call me. It's better for you to send me SMS through WhatsApp. So by that, maybe if I get time, I can contact you. But do not contact me around that time, because I will be busy with my other job. I wish you all the best with your examination. Good luck.